first edition of the Truth Evening Talk, the program where they inform you, where they educate you, and where same way so they entertain you. We they get we live from the studios in Hill Court on Truth FM 103.9. Remember, say the Truth Evening Talk, a program where they come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Of course, as usual, you can be part of the conversation on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel at truthmedia.sl. Like all the time, we can bring una exciting conversations, educative conversations, way, of course, they seek the interest of young people. Of course, conversations way they try for address the challenges where young people they face. And so today, like every other time, we want to come discuss a very sensitive topic, a very, very crucial topic, and a topic where I should say young people outside go be very interested in. Because at the end of the day, if young people this topic will they about to discuss, if young people not actively involved in this process, then it means young people get for face a number of challenges because this is something we know they happen regularly. It means till they go get for and back on this process again, young people get for they face the same challenge here. And this topic we want for discuss today, we want for can talk about young people them, of course, power, and same way so we want for can discuss the constitution. Because one of the things we are sure say we all go pay attention to, or where we all go don't get an idea of, now the fact say the country they na a place usai we dey try for look the country in law, the most powerful document na the land. We want for look into them, change some of the laws them way they dey, pull some the way no well not today in the interest of the country, well the general good, and also replace them with laws them way they seek the interest and the general good of Sierra Leoneans them. And so the conversation we want for come get today, now whether the laws they were going for add into this constitution, I mean the Sierra Leone constitution, whether the laws them way then go on for pull, if then laws then they seek the interest of young people. If at all when they in a parliament, of course they don't table this bill already before the House of Parliament and they don't begin conversations around of course the constitutional amendment bill. So we want to see if all of them conversations and then they think about young people them. Because mark you, survey don't show say Sierra Leone gets a very huge youthful population. Means a bulk of the Sierra Leone population now young people them. And so it means say every decision we they make as a country, young people suppose for they at the center of that decision. We suppose for they think about young people them. And so today at the studios for discuss this sensitive topic, I get two young men them where for quite some time now they don't they into advocacy, they don't they try for see how they go push for let young people their interest them be maximized. They also don't they try for see how they go draw authorities we concerned to the challenges where young people they face. Of course, in the studios, I get Sai Kujalo, we na a public relations graduate from Fairway College Mass Communications Department. We same way so na law student. Also get na the studio Patrick Suma, we also na a political Samura Sois, Patrick Samura, we also na political analyst, we self na graduates from the political science department na Fairway College, and we same way so na law student. Of course, then get for come help we rub more on this topic. But do not forget, you can be part of this conversation by sending us a message through the short code 239. Of course, you go able for add your voice to the program. You also, if you watch we live on Facebook, you also can drop your comments on our Facebook page. Definitely get for come down on that Blue Street Day. For can look all of the comments, for can see on our thoughts they share concerning this topic. no go no side, definitely we dey start the conversation just now. And like I say, the guests and then a studio, and this na people we done the day per youth advocacy for quite some time. We want to go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we dey come delve into the conversation proper. Kushe and welcome back. Of course, not forget this na the Truth Evening Talk where they come to you on Truth FM 103.9. You dey get we live now we studios now one D Hill Court. Of course, you go be part of this conversation by sending us a message through the short code 239 or just left we you comment, you thought now we Facebook page. I certainly get for Cam Day and come watch some of the messages same way una don't left na the Facebook page. Like I tell you now the studio I get two young people we done dey per youth advocacy for quite some time. Of course, well, like then can talk and then the legal people and then get the local standing for discuss lost them of the land because then self na lost students and to some extent. Even though somebody go out for argue say na well now that make we think and say important for let young people be involved in this process. And so how for we start the conversation proper. Psycho, I should say you don't they follow the conversation around the amendment bill. Of course, they don't table and before parliament. Waiting on your idea generally about the amendment bill, I mean the process and all thing.
So, first off, good evening to every listener out there. It is evident that the constitutional amendments are something very much deliberate, and we cannot say less about it. If you observe, since this whole matter started, you can see there has been a lot of debates, arguments, and whatnot in the parliament and even in other environments within society. This they tell you say this document is also something we light, and it's not something that we can just have to be passed ordinarily or just like that, because now a document will involve very much significant clauses we ordinarily you're not supposed to just touch them like that, because in a constitution, mind you, we have things that they call entrenched clauses where the parliament ordinarily not get the ultimate power just like that for change. Okay, they would need the participation of the civilians of society members. If you go to section 108 of the 1991 constitution, you will see them list a bunch of clauses within the constitution where parliament not just get hands like that for amend on their own, including section 3, we get the human rights policies and even some of the election issues then within inside this constitutional review matter. So that being the case, let me say a lot of debates don't come around them, a lot of arguments don't come around them, and a lot of awareness don't come around them. But deep down, are youth actually part of this process? The young people, are we actually part of this process? How much young person know say this amendment actually they go on? That's a question we have to ask the young people. And I can boastfully tell you that 90% of young men in a saloon, young people in a saloon, including women them, okay, not aware say this kind of bill in a parliament. Reason being, we have little or no knowledge about it. The young people are actually not much into the space of into governance. If I should pin it, we get very few people really into these governance activities, and a bunch of the young people just stay into other things. But in this constitution where we see, we get for no time and no say, Now, a document where they represent the entire activities and happenings of the country. And whatever decision we Parliament pass today, get for reflect to the ideologies of the future generation. So what are we going to face when we grow up? What are we going to have when we grow up? These are things where the young people need for be aware of, the need for take responsibility over, and also need for play part in. So as I say, for summarize the first point what they talk on, now that the constitutional review currently they go on, or the amendment, sorry, where they go on, includes some clauses, then when entrenched clauses within the constitution where go touch ordinarily without having a referendum. And referendum means the people them, the civilians, we the society members, we the ordinary people, we the common man them get for participate in that decision making day, because the constitution has given that mandate to the people. Okay, section 108 go there, the city, the clause that they talk of, where some of them they inside this document where they try for amend. So I think this give you the responsibility as young people for make we raise awareness and for make we know that this is a decision that is going to affect us. Perhaps the government is coming to fade off pretty soon. Okay, some of the old people in the camp go off pretty soon. Few years to come, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, we get for the into play. What are we going to do? Are we going to learn from these policies that we are made? If they are bad, are we going to suffer from those policies? If they are good, are we going to enjoy them? So this is why young people in Get For also come on and try for, as the constitution on give we the right, we need for come on and make we voices heard. If we think this constitution not favor we, this review not favor we, let's make our voices heard. Hey, we don't want this. Let me not get them. Referendum is there.
Okay.
We use that method.
Patrick, cycle don't talking. Key of the thing that we mentioned, one of the thing that we mentioned, I think young people them not actively involved in this particular process. I mean, the amendment of the 1991 Constitution. And so I want to ask, why is it that you think, young people, they feel, because again, he mentioned in a remark, to some extent, some young people, they will not even know, this thing, they happen. Then, so some, they some strange thing, they don't even know what it mean. So now that make we start with, first of all, waiting at this process, waiting at the relevance. And so we're able to unpack all of that. Now, why is it that young people then they feel so disconnected from this process? Why is it that they don't want to take part, in your opinion?
Okay. Thank you very much, Andrew, and greetings to all viewers and listeners. So, like you rightly mentioned in the introduction, young people the country make up the largest population na Sierra Leone. And given that, we feel like, because we are all young people, we feel like we don't just have to be tools of political institutions, but rather we also need to be decision makers. Now, given the very platform you provide for, waiting at the role where youth then the play. Now, looking at the constitutional amendment bill itself of 2025, I just want for first of all say it is a bill, it is not a law yet. It therefore go through stages, just like the ordinary original bill itself. Even the amendments therefore go through those stages. Until and unless it goes through those stages and you get the assent and everything, then it becomes a law. Ordinarily, I feel like it's not just that young people they not get the idea of what this constitutional amendment bill is, but they don't even know that we are having an amendment bill. And interestingly, before I come here, somebody see the fly and ask, when Salon went for amend the constitution, what to pull? Yeah, it's funny, but it's also very, very, very important because given the situation we are, people then say, well, we don't hear about CRC, Constitutional Review Committee. Now, all of the sudden in 2025, we don't hear about, in 2026, but it started 2025, we don't hear about constitutional amendment. Now, the problem in Sierra Leone, inclusion of the youth, the elite, all of us, when it comes to legislative processes, we don't take it as legislative processes. We take them as political positions for us to have our own say. Now, you cannot blame them because we are in a society where everything is largely political. And being a political analyst, I cannot blame people for that because we are political animals and we are bound to make decisions based on political lines. So, it sometimes depends on who you ask, the role given to young people. Others will feel like, yes, before this time it was not provided, the amendment of Section 32. Subsection 3 particularly was repealed and replaced, wherein we see such a nomination committee for the chief electoral commissioner or members of the electoral commission. That this search and nomination committee primarily, they make provision, I think it's paragraph F or E, for one representative way na a youth. Now, given that, you'd ask the question, one representative way go represent youth groups, but it's not just that. Waiting at the role of that representative day. Not for just advice. And one thing we know about advice when it comes to legislative processes and political institutions normally is that advices are given, but it's not like you are bound to follow those advices. So that's just an advisory role. So for me, when it comes to the constitutional amendments bill, I would categorically say that the role of youth starts exactly where the decisions, after the decisions have been made. So that's where we see the role where young people in the play. Okay, now una the young one and now una get the country. Una self come low, una can mobilize yourself. But did you ask us if this was the decision we wanted? Now, given that, Psycho make wonderful points them where he say it is the people, because when you talk about the constitution, it is not the constitution of the APC, it is not the constitution of the SLPP or any other political party. Now, looking at some other provisions, which I don't want to just jump into them, you do understand that much of what we have been seeing, or partly, is greatly centered around, yes, these are legislative processes and constitutional amendment, but like I already mentioned, it also sounds like a political amendment of certain processes and institutions. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep into it right now. So, given that, it is the constitution of the people of Sierra Leone. Now, do you really think the people of Sierra Leone are ready for the amendment process? And specifically speaking to the generation of young people, are we ready? Not just are we ready, but does the process of the amendment of the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991, Act number 6 of 1991, provides for the space for we young people and for act, or provide for a space for we young people and for get a say in the amendment process? I feel like those are the very big questions we are going to we get for discussion, and I feel like it is definitely at the heart of the country.
Okay. Of course, one thing we don't go dispute now, say the constitutional amendment, it's something we very crucial, very key, and of course, like you mentioned, a FIBA, like say, not so legislative process to some extent. But again, of course, you na political person, so you understand within the angle where you come out from. But this bring we to the other question we I want for ask. Already we get a ministry where they be headed by a very young person, we now the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. We one of in key responsibility and mandates are for ensuring educate people then on some of them processes here. Cycle, in your view, of course, just last December last year, the ministry been get a whole marathon festival, civic festival. Of course, then talk on a number of things. You think say that festival they been capture anything we get for do it? Youth, their involvement, young people, their involvement in the amendment of the 1990, some of the clauses and provisions way they in the 1991 Constitution.
So, if we look on that, one thing is very much clear. You understand, like how serious is the front runners with the call for this amendment? They forget young people. That's one question I want to make we actually pinpoint on. When you look at that civic festival, I mean the festival which was very good, highly. I mean, it gets a lot of people there, it gets a lot of things we then display. But I think one thing we lack that the fact say the government, I mean, they give less attention towards the young people them. They mostly pinpoint on, other politicians. They mostly pinpoint on other politicians and how then go convince other politicians, political parties. In fact, when you talk of this amendment, the two voices we go just hearing are the ruling party and the opposition party. These are the two parties we hear on this matter. They don't pinpoint to focus on the young people and try for get people them for understand. I mean, the young one them, even though we are the future benefactors of this particular review thing. One thing will shock you, Andrew and Patrick. I can remember it was last year. There was this event with the whole FBC. Okay, we involve young people them. Then call a lot of young people them. The Ministry of Information was part of it, of course. We be involved this safe motherhood bill.
Yeah.
Okay, I was there. Guess what attract lots of young people and for go for that program day? The token. Where did they get? The token, where did they get? When the transport fare. A lot go ask, say, in fact, we the ones send a message for informed students and say, okay, we get this discussion where they go on multi-purpose hall.
Money go come on.
Then, yes, that was the question where your money they ask. Money go come on.
So
In fact,
maybe
they even use it for campaigns. They refund transport to. So many they left hostel, so many go left classes, so many go left and host. Can't purposely because they get for Kangi and transport to go now. Imagine, like this is how low we don't subject ourselves. So imagine if that person they did in a place tomorrow for fight against a particular law and be passed. Then get a small money, you go change your mind. You go just relax and left the lawyer and pass.
so Patrick,
So these are the things.
Psycho they bring up a very sensitive point where I should say some of the older folks where they can hold on to say young people don't get the right attitude, young people and character no okay. In fact, because of their attitude and character and the way they can behave when you put them in some leadership positions. The last time, in fact, the former president, His Excellency, the President, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, in one of his audio, in one of his message, they talk say, they get for be careful, let them not give young person power away, not get so much experience. And so some of the time then say are young older folks and can use them against we. You think say young people and get the right attitude when it comes to sense, because this is something serious, like we all did discuss. This is something we not to obulate something where you can just go bubble around. It's something sensitive we get for do it a future generations yet to come. You think say young people and get the right attitude for let them really involve them in something as sensitive as this?
So I go first of all start for say when the former president was in power, he been get this ABC policy, attitudinal and behavioral change. It wasn't the ABCY, attitudinal behavioral change for youth, but it was inclusive of everybody. So if there is a presupposition that young people then get attitude, then get this and then get that, for me, when it comes to social gathering and everything, we get different time, different epoch, different period through which we understand and relate to certain principles, to certain ways and behavior of society. Before this time, when you see them, you dey talk with somebody, you stay on your phone, others can call them rude and everything. But nowadays, we feel like you can be in a very heated and active conversation with someone using the phone where you're trying to justify the arguments you make and everything. Others might call it good. I might call it a way for at least back up me assertion or whatever at the state with relevant facts. Now, when it comes to answering the question if youth actually get the behavior or they are equipped for political positions or political power, I would say yes. Generally, when you talk about youth, it don't make up the bulk population of the country. And today we are seeing, I wouldn't specifically say youth, because we are seeing young people. Yes.
Because you can't tell the age. I understand.
I am seeing young people in offices occupying ministerial positions and everything. And like you mentioned, Siba is a very young person, not a youth. And we also see Salima Ba. She's a youth, of course. And seeing what these people have accomplished, although we can say educational achievements not get much for deal with your character, but before this time, this was what people used to define positions in offices. Now, young people are having them. We're having young people with PhDs, double masters, masters of philosophy, and all of these things. And now the rhetorics have changed. Then there's not because you don't learn Boku book mean to say you equipped for the position of authority. But back and forth, people let me they say, okay, this philosopher king with the knowledge and everything when it comes to leadership. So you want for tell me if somebody get a master's in public administration as a young person and not able for run the administration of an institution, then let us start checking our institutions, the elites that we give with this knowledge of public administration, whether the knowledge we then give enough for run the administration or for lay we say destroy the nation within the left behind. So the question if young people are ready, yes, we are. Is the platform provided? They haven't. So with the very few young people and youth that we don't get this opportunity, we see how tremendously in the sky. Look at some of these institutions, educational institutions, lecturers there. Today I will tell you categorically, we are so happy to have young lecturers now for the college where they teach some of these modules them. Then they make things so exciting and easy. You don't need for listening to dictation and all of these things. It tells you of innovation. It tells you of creativity. Don't you think these are some of the things we need in governance? Don't you think these are some of the things we need in political institutions? But if we just stick to these good things, you go now some offices, them I tell you, Andrew, we get stack of papers on tables. Now they you information everything, they've got paper loss. God forbid the office burn. How then they recover now? But with young people, we don't see how these newly young people who don't see in ministries, departments, and agencies, don't they push for the drive of data? We see how NACRA they ensure say everybody, get a national identity card. These are some of the initiatives of young people for ensure say everything is digitalized. Because we're in a digital world now. Not to them, even with university, most of the things they see, they are trying to go digital. But the problem is, how many young people then get firm decision making at these universities? Most are limited.
I was going to ask Patrick, it's all evolves around the number of young people and where they make critical decisions. Because even the very parliament where they look at this bill, look how much young people, youth. How much youth than they. I think you don't change me narrative, but youth already. But again, look on a very serious note, how much young people them they. How much youth than they. Where instead of seeking it, let's go look say, okay, young people and like me, they be and we get for camp. So it's their interest above the party interest. Because you mentioned, say, some of them processes here, instead of them being legislative processes, they can rather be political processes. Yeah. So I can just want to penetrate with political ideologies, thoughts, and perceptions into them processes here. Yeah. But you think, say, cycle, any one of you can respond to this. You think, say, young people, they na positions them, where they're able for call the shots, they're able for make decisions so they affect this particular process?
So, in fact, now that's going to make a contradict Patrick. It's a youths are ready. But to me, youths are not ready. Because if you say this man go fet, you not get gone for fet, you not get gone, you not get, what are you going to use to fight? Okay? You don't have the tools to make the change. You don't have the tool to create the impact. As it stands ordinarily. If you want to demand that tool, you have to take other steps. And how many youths are ready to take those steps? I just don't get a clear case study. We are in the good discussive motherhood bill. A bill way now of national value. Youth money they ask, did they get transport? This is why you are going there. You know elite, you know possible for talk on national matters. You are going for transport. Minister Ikafuka explain things the way you want to now. When our contribution on as young people, you understand? And that's if model bill mostly enough for young people. It benefit mostly people they born, woman they born, right? So if you are going there to discuss, go there with a free mind, with an open mind to discuss on behalf of the nation. There was one statement where one lecturer make one time, William James, I can never forget it. She was like, learn to be generational thinkers. In the sense, don't just think about yourself. Patrick, don't just think about how can I have a bottle of water today? How can I have a loaf of bread to feed from? You understand, Andrew? So, to far extent, I think the young people, even if the mindset is there, which is also another question, where I get a very skeptical, thought around about the mindset of young people. Are they ready? I can say no, because we lack the tools, we lack the platforms, We lack the equipment we could take we to
I
the
see,
next level.
I see Patrick want for react to
You know,
this one.
yeah.
Because if you like you hold a different view to it inside, could they
yeah,
say?
just slightly.
Okay.
I feel like you get a point. We make up of the largest population in the
Definitely,
country. So obviously
definitely.
you get forget a certain group of people, or to some extent certain percentage, maybe to say they go away from the normal aspect we held, say, youth them supposed for take. But nonetheless, now here is it. Let us go back to the abortion bill before the safe motherhood bill. Who we are consulted in the later part where it comes to the assent of the president, religious leaders, who that make up the larger population of religious leaders, elite people. Now, the thing with seminars, we've attended lots of these seminars. Like I mentioned the last time, they call their young people for snap, they let them show and get engagement with them. But it is not their responses or waiting and give us feedback. Now, in the turnout, now the bill. No, if it was, then let us go back to the abortion bill. Was it 2012 or what? Why wasn't young people like extremely consulted in such a way? They say yeah, the seminar was a consultation, but did it really reflect in the words and statements of these young people? The bill go on to forget the assent of the president. Now, this is the situation now. Andrew, you made very good mention of the percentage of young people in parliament. It's 2.4 or something like 2.0. Let's just say 2% of young people in the parliament, of youth, not even young people, youth in parliament, according to UPI. So if 2% they in a parliament, that 2% the SSF, they want for continue for get space in a parliament. They go for listen to waiting the elites and they say, as much as they go want for go a little bit away from waiting them people and they say try for be innovative, but somebody go caution you, but you young go, but also you do so if you know say you want for continue this and this. Now look at the constitutional amendment bill of 2025 with the continuation, I would say, of the proportional representative system. Now here is the PR system. Each and everything about the PR system is solely for me at the political level, the political parties level.
Definitely.
Now, who is in charge of these political parties? The elites. Are they youth? No. Also look at the role, the space created for independent candidates, for contest, for parliamentary position. But it has a condition. You get to be financially capable. Now, young people are there. I believe myself, I get what it takes to be a member of parliament.
The campaign, so?
No, I am not campaigning. I am just trying to put a position for sure say young people are there. Because within the constitution provide 21 years of age. So I would say the original intent of these framers was to have young people in the well of parliament to carry out legislative processes. So they felt like, yes, young people were ready. So that was the reason why for take leadership not necessarily means becoming the president of the country. But it has to be in positions wherein we could also be part of decision making.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, we are ready. And like I was saying, in the PR system, now party elites say they make the decisions. Yes, we expect you to them for challenge decisions and everything. But if you know say that they get forgive you symbol, you dey go challenge them. This is what is happening in our political parties, the elite political parties. Now, you also get a clause where they ban political parties that will not win successive elections twice in a row. Now, don't you think this is a way for silent young people that we feel like there's an opportunity for we get a third force? Do you think with the pace at which the population of Sierra Leone and the social and political mindsets of lots of Sierra Leoneans are held on APC and SLPP, do you think it is something that's going to change in 10 years? No. Now it means every third force we want for count that power, maybe from an enabling youth or young person, easy for quash that party their way. So some of the provisions of this constitutional amendment is not extremely different, from the constitution itself, what we currently use when at the ground norm with respect to that. So it shows that yes, we are ready. We still have those where they outside of the picture. We get the kush, all of that. I don't want to get into it because this is not the topic of discussion. But irrespective, we still have people who are ready. Check the amount of young people where they graduate. Doesn't mean they are ready, but where they graduate per year. How many of them do have jobs? Check in their life after 3 or 4 years after graduation. You know, things say those who have been in position of authority, who have been making decisions. I always can tell me daddy this, that you born me. But when I reach 19, 20 years, not even 18, I feel like there are things I feel like I know much better for decide about myself than you. Me people can tell me not take drugs, not take this. It is as per my own volition for decide not for take those things. It is as per my own volition for this encourage me say for go do political science first before any other thing. All wetin me daddy me care about is ensure you become a graduate. There are some then they tailor their life and everything. So I feel like much of youth, especially those doing in the mid-20s, your decision, it greatly rests upon you. And some of the decisions we don't take based on what they don't table for we by the elites and so yes, we are ready. But it's the enabling environment via for us to show our tendencies. I say no.
In the words of Patrick, the enabling environment, not the challenge, but the attitude they in place, get the right mindset, with behaviors themselves. Well, in the words of Patrick, then they in place, even though Psycho hold a different view to waiting Patrick they say. But not forget, this is a Truth Evening Talk where they come to you on Truth FM 103.9. They get we live from the studios Hill Court. And remember, say you can be part of this conversation by sending us a text message through the short code 239, or you can left with your comment. What do you think about this conversation? Is it that you a young person out there, you talk to what you want for share, you get your own idea what you want for share? Left that comment in our we Facebook page and we YouTube channel. We'll certainly get for Cam Day for can watch and comment. But for now, we want for can watch a video of a young man. A name na Mohammed Uriba. Well, plenty people can call him Wivobi. This is a young man where, in a way, they try for push, of course, the young people, their agenda for sure. Say young people, they really get the right attitude. Young people, they really hardworking. Of course, young people, they're intelligent. They get sense. Not so back then when they say young people, they don't even know it in and they're up to. So this young man, this video they can watch, if they share in thoughts around these constitutional amendments, what do you think? What I in thoughts about the whole process as a young person? Of course, we will be at the head of department for the IMAT law, within the IMAT College Law Department. He's the head of department there. Of course, he also they part of so many other advocacy groups where they push for the betterment of young people. Let we watch this video and we definitely come back and continue the conversation.
Nation, the Leone Salon talk say, for make you be president in this country, you forget 55% of the vote. Otherwise, we dey go for runoff. The government of Salon they propose say make we change the law, and they propose say for make person win the first round, you forget simple majority and at least 20% now two-third majority of the districts in Salon. What in this mean? It means say the person for get the highest vote and also get at least 20% now 11 districts of the 16 districts will get a Salon. Because the argue say for make you be president, if you go all about now the country, for get the mandate of people. But we na Ilraj, we think say this na issue now with democracy. We na government of the people, by the people and for the people. We believe say if we lower the bar, we go create weak mandates for the president because it go appear say majority of the people we don't want them, don't vote for them, and then the Ingo come like can be president, we be say now few people vote for them. It also appear to be say some district in Asalo, them very small, other one them very big. So party we get base na beaucoup small districts will end up win the election against the majority of this. It appear to we say the votes will be unequal. We will involve the principle of democracy. We see one man, one vote. Now for pay attention and get involved. Tomorrow, bye. This message will come out from the
Like how we will be, they say, pay attention. If you sit down, pay attention and not get involved. Like DJ Bass can say during this time before man fool, say before man they pan big fool they die. If you not pay attention and get involved on a very serious note, it go and bug with tomorrow. And so as we dey wrap up Patrick and Psycho, of course, unana people away already they get legal background and all thing. And I think say so far the clauses them way, of course, we talk about entrenched clauses now the constitution where parliament such can just change like that. Well, recently we see the Ministry of Labour being there for increase the minimum wage to 1,200 leones or something where they take effect in April. So basically, what I want for ask cycle, you think say the constitution gets provisions them way they speak to youth employment. Of course, you will they talk about say young people are not equipped with the requisite capacities where they need for take up leadership and for being involved in critical decision making processes. And one of the way we then go be involved now, if they're gainfully employed, they're financially stable. You think so we get clauses in the constitution where they make for let young people and be gainfully employed, able to empower themselves, like what Patrick they say, so that when they want for contest for parliamentary seats, they're financially capable for contest for their seats. Then you also think say clauses and the way they speak to youth education, where they promote to young people and for land book, and also for let young people and be involved into governance, and of course, if young people and get the space for express themselves.
So if you go into the constitution, you pin yourself around section 2, you could see a lot of statements them with around rights of people, and we get rights with the talk of inside the constitution we not legally binding. That is to say, if you not get them, they take government outside. You're not outside, you go to government. And amongst them, and by the way, let me just make this clear: the constitution is speaking for every Sierra Leonean. They are not specifying youths. Yeah. Okay, so whatever they say the constitution, they talk about saloon. I get to the point. So that one day, let me get them clear first. The constitution they speak for every Sierra Leonean. So inside the constitution, they tell you right to education, you understand, employment, and some other clauses really around section 2. Where then one day, they sue the government, no side for the one day. So let's say you not get educated, you cannot take the government and say, hey, I not get school.
So it is that then clauses now for big clauses so they take government to court
well,
for
it left with the young one them. If you think that they are that important, more than them political clauses that they carry it for CAM repeal, we can take that one day. You understand? Some other countries, yes, they do it. They have it that you must be educated. It is mandatory. Even though yes, they get now other legal documents, we let's say Child Rights Act, where they talk of picking up for go school for get some protection and everything. But the constitution specifically no make CAM anyway binding upon the
government.
Upon the government. Section 2. It's not anyway binding upon the government for say pauper you for provide education for the people. If you not get an for go to
how about employment?
Now, same thing. It's not kind of mandatory for say you forget if you not get an for go to a court. No. If you go to a court, you not get hearing. Now only section 3 will involve freedom of movement, right to life, and other one the way they are on that category.
Patrick, this is a very sensitive conversation. Patrick, you think say, of course they amend the constitution now. You think say they need for make them provisions here that the constitution mandatory that young people them for get access to employment way, not gainful employment, they forget access to education, whatever form, be it formal, non-formal, they forget access for able for take up governance and also for express themselves when things they go bad.
So, first of all, if I come straight and say yes, but I was going to say, well, Sierra Leone not just involve young people. Young people might have made up of the larger percentage of the population, where it will be 60, 65 and upwards. Some might even say 70. Now, what will happen to the 30%? So it might be discriminatory. Section 27 not going to allow me. Now, in as much as I feel like young people are not provided with the opportunity, but there are some of these clauses. Let's take, for instance, the chief electoral commissioner, they say not more than 65 years. So they not say above 65. You understand? Some of these provisions, I feel like, does not necessarily exclude youth. Just that when they don't say not less than that age, people can feel like, well, 62, 63, it's time for Lewis to go shake body for them positions then they. But generally, for me, when it comes to this Amendments Act, something they will then do extremely well for mandate 30% woman them. Now, the question we particularly bore me, and I don't know why I forget to even talk about it, is, okay, I respect women, and in any way, me as somebody I always preach and advocate for young women and women in general. But I also feel like being an advocate, and also you talk about young people and participation principally in politics, why we not get similar mandate for at least 20%
20% for young people.
or 25% of young people. So for me, I will say this with every clarity, that the exclusion of young people in the standing current, the Constitution of Sierra Leone, we now grown norm, and the Pursuing Amendment Act, we don't know if it get for be amended or not. It is still in the process. It is a policy decision or policy choice. It is not an accident. It is something within the framework of those who already they make the decision. It is their policy choice. It is not an accident, because it is not today young people and begin for push for participation. They don't they push, but women and non they push equally, and they've gotten 30%. I respect that, and I am so happy for that. But I still need more. Now, what is wrong with young people? Others will say, "Oh, even in the woman there," but I tell you, among that 30%, they go check the age of the woman there. Most of them will not be young people, or might not even be youth. Maybe we'll get a quota where go be 10% when are young people.
Okay. So, Psycho, we dey wrap up now, and this will be your last bite. Of course, they speak to just know you been get a contrary view, say young people don't get the right attitude. In the next 1 minute, whose message? Well, I can't get you now for being motivational speaker, by the way. Whose message you want for left? A message of hope, like me boss go ask any other person. Whose message of hope you want for left with young people? We still they try for see them be involved in critical decision making processes.
I go pinpoint on one thing, and that is, if you see we sit on Ayaso, we are young people, right? Patrick not just grab our money and begin talk about constitution and things like those. In fact, this is why I believe since I go school, I did government when I was in high school and everything. I tell people, like, 2 subjects I believe safe for be compulsory for each and every student, be you science students or whatever, government and history. You have to know your government, how government function, because tomorrow for medical angle you go and just can be a politician. You don't even know how, and in fact, even if you don't want to be a politician, politics is part of society. This is a democratic state. Each and every person's view matters. You understand? So if you don't know how to start even for talk about something, how you go talk about them? History, how is your country? How your country did you get for say about time? So being a young person in society, let me forget about whose party you part of, whether in an APC, SLP. Let's forget about this and know one thing, that these constitutional review or amendments or whatever they call them, get for deal with we, the young people them. Okay? Me and you is today also. As I did say, 20, 30 years from now, we are going to be old people. But do we want to live the next 20, 30 years in poverty, in struggle, in suffering, in pain, and in completely in complete agony? Is that how we want to live our lives? That we just want to forget with a cup of water? I repeat this. Let's be generational thinkers. Let's focus on tomorrow. Let's try to focus on how we can help the country for be better and how we make the laws them great. Make your voice heard. I like the Vivo in video just now. If that now a movie we can use as young people. Come on, make a YouTube video or a TikTok video. Make it see young people they go on TikTok dance all day. Like that moment where they use for dance, make a very sound point. In as much as you go dance, make a very sound point that hey, this constitutional review or amendment, we want you young man for the part of this thing. Something like that. Before you go spend the whole day dance or they watch people they dance on TikTok, make something. This is a digital age. You see one person we always like for follow up when Moina Senge. He's always on Facebook. Okay? With everything that happen because you know say the young generation, then they on Facebook.
Okay.
So these are messages where we self get for the tool. They see them definitely. You put them there, they see them. SIBA is there, other ministers are there, other government personnel are there, and even other people in our honorables and this, they are all there. They will see it.
Okay.
But if we just left and say we will not get voice, they will not give you platform. In as much as yes, we not get them, but we self get for push for them. Women have been heard to an extent. So what are the young people going to do? We also have to fight to be heard. If not, we are going to be...
We need for be heard in the words of cycle.
Definitely.
Patrick, what's in your word of hope or your words of hope where you want for left with young people in the next 1 minute as we wrap up?
So we want for continue to tell Truth Media plenty thank you for reminding us of this uncomfortable truth that
Yeah, we are suffering.
that youth are visible in politics.
Definitely.
Like Psycho mentioned, we see young people, we see youth in politics, but they are still on the marginal side in governance. So when it comes to this constitutional amendment process, if it goes through, they go thank you. If you not go through again, there is still a room for make we self be heard. So as youth, I remember we actually always get something. It says, as a young person, you must be seen and being heard. And today, I feel like young people, we have been seen, we have been heard. But there is one thing left. The space should be provided for them to act, for us to translate our sciences, that which we have learned through principles and doctrines, into the art. And the art is mostly focused with the elites, and then they do the practice of politics and everything. Let us translate those principles, those doctrines that we have learned into the arts. Maybe that is what we need to change Sierra Leone as a nation.
Plenty thank you to me, two gentlemen in the studios. Of course, not forget, this is not Truth Evening Talk, where they come to you on Truth FM 103.9. Of course, today, the topic we will be discuss now youth, power, and the Constitution. And of course, we get a conversation for understand if the amendment process in Sierra Leone, they consider young people. Of course, the two gentlemen, Saiku Jallo and Patrick Samura, don't help me for discuss this very sensitive and important topic. We hope say the people where they make decisions, the people where they na the hem of affairs, and they will try for see how they will include the young people into decision making. Plenty thank you to my guests, them, and Saiku Jallo and Patrick Samura. Plenty thank you to my listeners and viewers, them, and plenty thank you to my producers, them, Samuel Hinganoma, David Aspin Solomon, and to the technical team, Ansu, Simon, Joshua, and Wosi, and of course, we superstar DJ Flex, we been there behind the mixing chamber, we make this program possible. Of course, me will bring the program to Una Mina and Uchopele. Sote Wednesday back where they meet Unatata.
Because in the morning we dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we? In the morning we make you.
Antu so alense kan